up, AOK Mafia? It's your boy Artofkickz, and just like that, we back with another one. Alright, y'all, so I came across a story earlier today on Instagram. It was a story of a young man, I think a 19-year-old boy or something, that was hired as an intern for NASA. I don't know how true this story is. He was hired as an intern for NASA, and within the first 2 weeks of working there, like, they didn't even call it weeks. They said like 17 days or something weird, some number. They said within the first 17 days of working there that he allegedly discovered a planet that was like 6.9 times the size of Earth. And there was like a meme that followed it, like, oh yeah, NASA scientists working for NASA 9 years, not seeing a planet. Freaking 19-year-old boy comes in, works for 17 days, and spots a whole planet that they've never seen before. But I don't know how true this is, but it I don't know. It's fascinating to me. But nonetheless, I came across a video just now on freaking YouTube, and this is Voyager Spacecraft's terrifying new signals, unlike anything ever seen. So I'm like, oh, they're kind of maybe ties together with this new planet, but I don't know. Anyway, we're about to check this out. Doesn't tie together at all. It's just space stuff. Y'all ready? I'm ready. Let's go.
Farthest spacecraft is exploring an area of space where nothing from Earth has ever flown before.
The Voyager.
The spacecraft has sent back stunning images and vital data from interstellar space that has previously been shrouded in mystery. But in a new turn of events, Voyager 1 seems to be sending weird signals from beyond the solar system, and nobody really knows why.
Is that really what the Voyager looks like?
Is 45 years of space adventures finally taking its toll on Voyager 1? Or could it be something else altogether?
Wait, it's been in space for 45 years? Like, who's doing maintenance on this thing? Like, how do you even recover it? How far deep in space is this thing?
Welcome to Fact Nominal, and for today's video, we'll be taking a look at the Voyager's remarkable journey thus far, and the new random data that has scientists and researchers buzzing.
I'm gonna have this channel linked down in the description box so you can check out more of their awesome content. Launching the Voyager.
Humanity's curiosity for the world that lies beyond the confines of what we know and understand is always driving us to push for more and more. Voyager 1 and its sister spacecraft Voyager 2 were the result of this unending curiosity to learn about interstellar space and explore the outer planets in our solar system. Initially, NASA had planned to launch 2 spacecraft past Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, and then 2 others past Jupiter. But given budgetary constraints, they settled on Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. With a weight of more than 720 kilograms, the spacecraft, which is
1,500 pounds,
is about the size of a subcompact car, was launched on September 5th, 1977. Voyager 1 was in fact launched after its twin Voyager 2, roughly 2 weeks later, as per their planned flight path and varying speeds. Both Voyager missions were able to take advantage of a rather special alignment of outer planets that happens only once every 176 years, creating a slingshot effect and catapulting the spacecraft from one planet to the next. Despite being the second to launch, Voyager 1 made its way to Jupiter and Saturn first in 1979 and then 1980. But no one had quite expected just what a remarkably long journey Voyager 1 was headed for and how long it would remain operational in space. After its successful launch, Voyager 1 raced past its twin and was the first to get behind the main asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter.
I am so confused. How did this thing race past its twin when I don't see no legs or wheels or nothing or wings? How did it move? Like, what is it doing? Is this what it looks like, or does it look different than this? How is it moving through space? I'm confused.
The spacecraft's first ever picture of Jupiter was sent back to Earth in April 1978, when the probe was still 165 million miles, or 265 million kilometers from planet Earth. It began to snap pictures and collect data about the giant planet and was the first to uncover two new moons, Phoebe and Metis.
Phoebe. Wait a minute. So you telling me this thing can be... Man, what? How come? This makes zero sense, y'all. How big is a planet that you can see it from millions of miles away? Wait, they launched this thing in what year? And it took, what, 4 years or maybe 5 years for it to reach the planet and still be a million plus miles away? Science confusing.
For the first time, detailed pictures of the Jovian moons Io, Europa, Ganymede, Callisto, and Amalthea.
Are you telling me all the moons look that different from each other? That's weird.
Were beamed back to Earth, which forever changed the way we understand the great ice worlds. Stunning discoveries were made by the in-depth data and images provided, like Io and its many volcanoes having active interiors, or Europa with its far smoother surface showing hints of being a secret ocean world. After a year of exploring Jupiter,
Wait, a secret ocean world? Imagine if... What? Mine just blew. It never crossed my mind that there could be a planet like Earth. I'm not saying that this thing is anything like Earth, but it could be a planet like Earth where we have both land and water, majority water, but it's just water on this planet. It's just an ocean planet. What kind of creatures do they have there? Man, you can't tell me that there's not life on these other planets. Why else would the planet be there?
It was time for the spacecraft to turn its attention towards Saturn. Once again, Voyager 1 proved just how little we knew about our neighboring planets and made more discoveries on the ringed planet as well. It targeted the F-ring, the mysterious thin structure that had been discovered by NASA's Pioneer 11 probe. Here it discovered Prometheus and Pandora, two prominent moons, along with Atlas and a completely new ring.
Yo, they got a new ring. What you mean? They got what? Hold on. This is crazy. They got moons that's shaped like this. These moons ain't shaped like Earth moons.
Titan, the second largest moon in the solar system, proved to be more of a challenge because of its thick orange haze, which would only be photographed years later by the Huygens atmospheric probe. Voyager 1 continued its primary mission of exploring and snapping images of every angle of Saturn and its moons.
It never dawned on me until now, but what are the rings around the planet made of, and how is it around the planet like that? It's not even touching the planet. It's just around it. It's like orbiting it. How is it doing that? And why is it doing that? And what is it? What's in that? Man, that you bring that to Earth, people gonna treat it like it's gold or diamonds. It's gonna be so rare and expensive. Like to have a piece is like millions of freaking dollars. Ugh, humans.
Till it was finally time to make its way to interstellar space. But not before taking one of the most iconic images in spaceflight history.
Let me see it.
Pale blue dot. An image.
You calling this one of the most iconic images in history? I guess I don't know science.
Taken nearly 3.7 billion miles, or 6 billion kilometers away from Earth.
See, this is what the heck I'm talking about. How you gonna take a picture? What kind of zoom do you got? All I got is this. How you take a picture 3.7 million miles away? How many times will you have to wrap the Earth with a piece of string in order to reach 3.7 billion? What? I'm calling cap. They ain't got no camera that good.
Showing the planet suspended as nothing but a tiny dot against the vast expanse of space.
I guess this is the best picture you can get. Man, wait. It looked like they took this picture from Earth and just pointed up in the sky, and you see a star, but the star is really a big old fat planet that's really far away. Or did they take this picture in space? I would believe if it was space, but on Earth, I don't think we can see stars that far away. Maybe we can. How far is Orion's belt? Because I feel like somebody would have hit it by now. It's so close. We can see it in the
Perhaps
sky.
the most exciting part of the spacecraft's journey is
The Big Dipper, the Little Dipper. How come nobody has been to them dippers?
when it ventured into interstellar space, the first of its kind to do so. Voyager 1 officially left the heliosphere, the giant bubble of charged particles that the sun blows around itself, and in August 2012 entered interstellar space. The discovery was made when a powerful solar eruption was recorded by Voyager 1's plasma wave instrument, causing electrons near Voyager 1 to vibrate intensely. From these oscillations, the team was able to discover that the probe's surroundings had a higher density than what one might find within the heliosphere.
I had to let him finish that thought because I got a thought. Man, how is it that the Earth is just out there burning? When is it gonna burn out? How hasn't it burned out in all of our lifetimes? I don't understand it. It's one of those things that just really, it bothers me. It really bothers me to think that the sun is out there just cooking itself. It's so freaking hot. Can't nobody get close to it ever. And it makes no freaking sense. Like, what's in the core of that freaking Earth, sun planet that is not burning? It's just burning all on the outside. And what's causing it to constantly do that? And is it so dense in space in that area that whatever that chemical is that's causing the sun to burn, that it won't expand out into the atmosphere, into the not even atmosphere, further than that, into space, because it's so dense? It's almost like the area around the sun is constantly forcing it back, forcing those chemicals back to the sun. I don't know, man. I'm confusing myself.
Researchers were able to backtrack through the spacecraft's data and nail down the exact date of departure from the heliopause, August 25th, 2012. Since flying into interstellar space, Voyager 1 has made some astounding discoveries. Intense cosmic radiation, and demonstrating how charged particles from the sun react with the ones emitted by other stars, along with a slew of mind-blowing images, just seemed to be the beginning of its journey. Voyager 2, its twin, also crossed the heliopause into interstellar space on November 5th, 2018, putting both the Voyager missions beyond the solar system.
It's crazy to think that interstellar space is a thing. I felt like interstellar was a term created by like sci-fi community, movies and all that type of stuff. But was interstellar already a thing, and did they know of its existence? Because if 2012 was the first year that we've had something man-made even reach interstellar, how would you know that interstellar existed? Or is interstellar a space beyond a certain point? I'm trying to use my big brain energy right now. It's hurting my brain now. Just playing. This is fun to think about. Messages from beyond.
In its journey venturing beyond the solar system, Voyager 1 has gone further than any other human-made object in the world, setting records that might take a while to beat. But exactly how far from Earth has the iconic spacecraft ventured? According to NASA, it's now more than 15 billion miles, or 24 billion kilometers away.
Now that's pretty awesome. I was not expecting for this thing to have reached billions of miles away. 15 billion? Like, all right, so if it took a picture of a planet when it was 3.7 billion, however many, 3.9 billion miles away from it, could it not just waited till it got to that planet? It has traveled 15 billion miles. It can't travel another 3 point something billion before it actually takes a picture?
Well, the mission has generally proceeded without major problems.
Pause. I got another thought. I have to share this. So if this thing has traveled these space in the way that it has and picked up all type of stuff, has it not picked up definite evidence of extraterrestrials or alien life forms in space? Like, they might not be sharing everything with us.
Scientists involved in the mission have recently noticed that there appear to be some mysterious signals the probe has been sending their way. While Voyager 1 is fully functioning and hasn't recorded any problems, it seems to be confused about its location in space, and this is without going into safe mode or sounding any alarms, which it ideally should. NASA says that an antenna attached to Voyager 1, which is pointed at Earth to send back data, still appears to be working, but it seems to be sending back data that is completely invalid. NASA released an official statement after concerns emerged, saying the Interstellar Explorer is operating normally, receiving and executing commands from Earth, along with gathering and returning science data. But readouts from the probe's Attitude Articulation and Control System, or AACS, don't really reflect what's happening on board. Which leads to the question, what exactly is happening on board? As with anything space-related, everyone was quick to speculate that there might be some alien signals being sent our way, or perhaps Voyager 1 is being intercepted and purposefully sending back confusing signals. Scientists have been quick to refute this, though, and...
What? Scientists get on my nerves, man. That makes perfect sense to think that there's a possibility that the signal that's being returned back to Earth from the Voyager, that's not making much sense in regards to what's actually happening on the Voyager, is being scrambled so that whatever real evidence or real data that's being picked up isn't being sent back to Earth, almost as if maybe some sort of alien technology it has hacked into the Voyager to say, all right, send this information, but don't send that you're aware of our existence. I don't know.
Any hopes for life beyond Earth interfering with the legendary spacecraft don't seem very likely, as much as some would wish.
They don't think it's likely? I don't either.
The AACS controls the spacecraft's orientation and, among its other tasks, keeps the Voyager's high-gain antenna pointed precisely at Earth to enable it to send data back home. For now, all signs show the AACS to be working well.
All right, hold on. That's so crazy to think that this thing has an antenna that is as long as it's pointing back to Earth, you have a better possibility of receiving the data needed, but it's so far away.
To be working well, but the data being received isn't really adding up. For instance, the data may appear to have been generated randomly or doesn't reflect any possible state the AACS could be in.
See, and they think that it's not a possibility that the Voyager is being hacked or controlled or sent out mixed data, mixed signals from potential alien life forms. What you just said is oh my God, it kind of goes against that.
Another puzzling issue is the fact that no onboard fault protection systems have been triggered, and neither have the Voyager 1 signals been weakened by any means.
Ooh, okay, so they're thinking, all right, so that's kind of crazy. Unless these aliens, if it is aliens, quote unquote, have some sort of technology to where they can make it seem so discreet what they're doing to our technology, then I don't know, it does seem like it's not believable that it's being interfered with.
As of now, the team seems to be very confident that despite possible challenges, they'll be able to face it like they have in the past. What exactly these signals and invalid data is, no one knows. But for now, NASA seems to be satisfied with the fact that everything else seems to be working well.
Well, that's crazy also to think that, hold on, he said, wait.
Asked what exactly these signals and invalid data is, no one knows. But for now, NASA seems to be satisfied with the fact that everything else seems to be working well, and Voyager personnel will either attempt to fix it or adapt to it. A signal from Earth currently takes approximately 20 hours and 33 minutes to reach Voyager 1, and the same delay exists when receiving data.
Oh, wow. That's so crazy. Like, how technology is wrecking my brain right now. To think it takes 20 plus hours for data to be sent from Earth to the Voyager. Like, it's traveling through space. Data is transparent, it's clear. You can't even see it, but it's traveling through space. I'm surprised it doesn't take longer. That's really some high-speed, fast internet right there, because that thing is like 15 billion miles away. For it to travel within a day, man, I can't even get a package from, well, I was about to lie, because sometimes Amazon do deliver same day, but I can't get a package from the post office that quick, I'll tell you that.
Project manager Suzanne Dodd stated that a mystery like this is sort of par for the course at this stage of the Voyager mission. She also emphasized that not only is the spacecraft 45 years old, it's also now in interstellar space. It's a region about which we know very little.
I feel like they should make a new one, the Voyager 3, and send that out there. More updated, better camera. I mean, this camera's from when? 45 years ago? Better camera, better everything. Update that system and see what type of data you can pull now. Because like, if you don't do that, then it just doesn't make any sense. You're already having what looks like is an issue with the data that's being received from this transmitter. You might want to get that fixed.
So perhaps the high radiation environment is messing up the probe's signals, and scientists will have to find a way to either decode it or work with it.
See, they're creating more work for themselves. Create another Voyager, better quality, more up to date, and maybe you'll be able to fix those issues or resolve those issues that can probably ultimately save millions, if not billions of dollars, on top of the fact that it might cost millions to make one of these things, but it'll still save you in the long run.
Also further stated that this is no doubt the last of Voyager 1's challenges on its journey through interstellar space.
That's why you need to know it. Future journey.
Despite the new glitch from the mission, Voyager 1 is still breaking barriers decades after its successful launch. The mission completely took everyone by surprise with how long it's been able to venture beyond the solar system, giving us hope for future missions. As of right now, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 are both well beyond their planetary targets.
And like, when you think of them, if let's say that there are some life forms, some alien life forms that are coming across the Voyagers, they might be looking at them and viewing them as not being a threat. They're like, oh, you see those little things flew by? That's just the humans on planet Earth trying to figure out what's going on out here. It's no bother. There's no threat to us.
And much farther than they were ever expected to go. Spacecraft project manager Suzanne Dodd at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory near Los Angeles, California, stated every day is a new record for Voyager. It is yet to make more stunning discoveries beyond the solar system, and perhaps in another 40,000 years, it'll drift within 1.6 light years, or 9.3 trillion miles, of star AC 793888.
That's a lot of freaking light years.
The constellation Camelopardalis. The Voyager Interstellar Mission, or VIM, according to the team, still has the potential to obtain more interplanetary and interstellar fields, particles, and waves, and could be shooting back data, and in this case perhaps some more weird signals, until around 2025. Only time will tell what more Voyager 1 has in store for us before operations end, whereupon it will eternally wander the Milky Way and beyond. So what are your thoughts on the messages Voyager 1 is sending back to NASA?
I think that those messages are very fascinating. And if NASA, I don't know, are those messages that NASA needs to decode to find out what the messages mean, or they're messages that refer to the Voyager and how it's operating? If that's the case, then I would understand why they feel as though the Voyager isn't sending back the right signals. But anyway, y'all leave your thoughts, comments, and opinions down below, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. See ya.